Welcome on into the barbershop. It's your boy G Bush back at it again. Welcome on in. We got a big time show for you. We're going to get you ready to go for everything Browns versus the Baltimore Ravens. First big time game of the year. First big time game of the year. And when I say big time, I mean this is one of those games where you need to get ready to go because this game is for first place in the AFC North. This is what we all wanted. This is what we were looking for. And the Cleveland Browns have been waiting for meaningful football games to play when Deshaun Watson is here. Deshaun Watson was brought in here specifically to win football games like this. We're going to break everything down, get you guys ready to go for the game coming up on Sunday, 1 o'clock game, Baltimore Ravens versus the Cleveland Browns. Before we get to anything, first thing is first, is we want to say shout out to every single person who has been watching. Shout out to every single person who was out there. We got some names to give out. We did give out our Kool-Aid Mafia orange hoodies. We will give those names out as well coming up here at the end of the show. We'll do that. We'll talk about a lot of things. First things first, we're going to talk about how do you feel about moral victories? I was on the air today with King Carmen on 92.3 The Fan. If you haven't listened to that, you can go back and check out and rewind that app, rewind the Odyssey app, and you can listen to me with King Carmen. This question came up. How do you feel about moral victories? This is a game which the Cleveland Browns really want to win, but I'm going to throw something out to you and say, now we might, if we don't get a win, but such and such X, Y, and Z happen, will y'all be okay with it? We'll talk about that coming up in a little bit. Browns defense. What does the Browns defense have to do in order to win this football game? I believe the Cleveland Browns have to be epic. They have to play their best game this year on defense, and I think they have to do it in Baltimore. I'll tell you the keys to victory with the Baltimore Ravens with the defense and why I believe the defense has to play out of their minds for them to win this football game, which I think they can. But let's get back to our first thing. How can Watson earn your vote? You know, right now it's voting season, right? And so everybody in the fall is out there, getting out there, and then I encourage everybody to go out there and vote. Whatever you vote, do it. We've exercised your right to be part of what we do in this country. There's a lot of people that have died for that right. There's a lot of people who have, fought for you to have that right to vote. Go vote. So what I'm thinking about the situation with Deshaun Watson is I look at the fan base being split. And a lot of people are on one side or the other with Deshaun Watson. And this is a game right here where I think that he could earn some people's votes. And I think sometimes candidates do things during your voting season that kind of put them behind the 8 ball, and they go from actually not winning people's votes to losing people's votes. You say, how is that possible, G. Bush? There's a lot of things you could do just not to lose people's votes, right? Sometimes the vote is already baked in. Sometimes, people vote with the D or the R. Sometimes people vote conservative or progressive. Sometimes people vote independent. Sometimes people vote for things that are valuable to their precinct. But sometimes the vote is already baked in. My mom votes this way, I'm going to vote this way. And I haven't seen much of it. But I did see a couple ads on TV and I didn't like how he said this, or I did see somebody say something bad about him. Right now, Deshaun Watson, for better or worse, has not had an ample sample size to gain people's votes. Now, if you don't have anything ample or any game footage to show, there's some things you can do to win over the vote. First things first, when you playing this game, Deshaun Watson, cool, calm, and collected. Just like you got to be on the debate stage. Don't be frustrated. You have to actually, when you're debating up there and you're getting up there with all the panel of the candidates or whatever, and shots are being thrown and fired, you got to be prepared and you got to sit there like you have heard this before, and all of this stuff that you guys, all my detractors and all my political foes. This is nothing. I'm prepared. My people have prepped me and to deliver your questions and deliver answers in a very succinct very positive way. And on top with some confidence. You need to do the same thing here in this game. It's going to be a hostile environment. You're going to be going against a really good candidate who has a really good track record, and that's Lamar Jackson. He already has the voting ranks, so the votes is already in on a lot of the people. They think Lamar Jackson has already beat you. They think he is the incumbent, actually. And he's up in the polls. What you can do to not give up any of your votes right now and to be able to stay consistent when the tough get going, stay calm, stay chilly. You know, you're going to have a left tackle out or a brand new left tackle that may be in here. That's either Hudson or who knows, we're playing musical chairs. We just hope DeJuan Jones is playing over the right side. If DeJuan Jones and Jet Wills is out, there may be musical chairs over there with the guards and Batonio, and I don't know what we're going to do. There's a lot of different things that may be swirling and talking about you in terms of you staying cool. When you back there, you got to stay cool. No turnovers, no self-inflicted wounds, none of that. That's number one. How can you earn people's votes here in your fan base? Let's continue on. When you're campaigning and you're doing certain things, one thing that you got to do, no flip-flopping. Don't tell CNN one thing, then don't go to Fox and tell them another. Don't get on MSNBC and say one thing, and then you go over there to ABC and say another thing. When you're on the press, if you said something in the first debate, double down on it. Stay consistent. We don't want you flip-flopping back and forth during campaign season, Deshaun Watson. And if you can stay not flip-flopping, a.k.a. turning the football over, a.k.a. not being judicious with the football, you can gain people's votes. As a matter of fact, I can prove to you this. If you don't give up the ball and you don't give up a strip sack against another division rival, Pittsburgh Steelers in Pittsburgh, hostile environment, we win that football game. Learn from what you did in the first debate. That was a primetime debate against a primetime opponent. That was another incumbent that had a nice fan base, that had a lot of votes baked in, and that's the Pittsburgh Steelers. Learn from that. Go into this game, learn from what you did before in that hostile environment, and you, my good sir, will retain votes. People will say, you know what, that Deshaun Watson character, I never saw his platform too much. I haven't watched the Browns a lot, but I commend him. That's the number 2 defense in the league, and he went in there with a line, and he was poised. He didn't get rattled. He didn't turn the football over. He didn't flip flop, and he looked cool, calm, and collected. I like this Watson guy. And then finally, Deshaun Watson, in this sense of being a voting, everybody's voting for president, medium. We voting for levies. We vote for bills and all kind of stuff. One of the things that you could do finally is seize the opportunity. Seize the opportunity and capitalize when other people mess up. You see, sometimes when you get on the debate stage, you got a very short time to answer and rebuttal. You got to be on your toes. You got to be somebody slips up, and you understand that they've been flip-flopping on their topics. You understand that they saying something contradictory to their own platform. You've been watching this person, and nobody has pressed them on their financial awareness. No one has pressed them on a bill that they didn't get passed. No one has their track record down. They ain't calling them on it. You got to be there on that debate stage, ready to go ahead and say, my good sir, what about X, Y, and Z? You never spoke to that. And listen, and the reason he hasn't spoke to that is because he's flip-flopping and he doesn't believe in what he says. That's the key to gaining votes, understanding what your opponent does and being able to sit there and capitalize off of it. And guess what, Deshaun? You're going to need that. You see, capitalizing for you means if Lamar Jackson wants to drop the football, we got to be on it quick. We need you to get the ball and convert those to points, not 3s, but 7s, right? When they make a huge mistake and you have very little time, very little talking time with multiple candidates on the stage, you got to jump in there, get in the fray, get in the fight, and don't be afraid to get rough and tumble with them. And then you can drop down your knowledge and let them cats know, I've been looking at your platform. You have your track record. Your track record on X, Y, and Z is not really jumping. Here's what I can offer you. That's what you need to do in this game. Anytime that they get a 3 and out, your defense get a 3 and out, you go back on offense, and then you give their defense hell. Anytime that they ain't moving the football and you pin them deep and they got to flip field position, now that's where you come in and capitalize off of that. As you can see, we're talking about the things that you can do to earn people's votes. And lastly, coming out of Baltimore with a win, that's a slam dunk. See, right now, as your campaign manager, Deshaun, don't worry about the polling. Polling is off these days. Who goes by polling anymore? Huh? Things change like this in a political sense in a snap of a finger. Right now, there's not a lot of people that's supporting you back home in Cleveland. There's some people who believe that you're not even a upgrade in leadership from the last quarterback we had. There's some people that say you make too much money, and people saying that you're not showing the leadership. They question your toughness. They've been doing a lot of those things. But what I can tell you, Deshaun, is this. Voters are fickle sometimes. And voters, they vote on emotion. And one thing that we can tell you about AFC North football games, Deshaun, it's going to be emotional and it's going to be pivotal and important. And more than anything, the great people of Ohio and the great people of Cleveland, you know what they respect? They respect hard-nosed integrity. They expect people to go out there and work hard. And what they need above all is somebody to show up when the chips are down. In this game, that's what you need most. And if you're looking to pick up votes here from the people of Cleveland, if you want to be elected as the leader, if you want to be elected as the franchise quarterback and get that trust and gain the trust of the people of Cleveland, all you need to do is go out there and win a game. That's it, one game. We ain't asked you to beat no Lions or Cowboys, or we're not saying that you got to stop an alien invasion. All you got to go out there to do is go to Baltimore, execute the offense, lean on a damn good defense. And I'll tell you what, if you make enough really good throws, you only need about 4 or 5 of them, manage this offense and don't put the ball on the turf, you will gain all the votes you need to elect you as the true franchise quarterback of the Cleveland Browns. See what I did there? And that's your your political version of my coach speech for Deshaun Watson. But besides that, all jokes aside, though, a lot of what I'm saying has some merit to it. In terms of how can he win your vote? Because here's the thing: there's a lot of people right now that are on one end of the spectrum or the other. But one thing that I could say is, if he goes out there in the Cleveland Browns right now at 5-3, and they go out there playing a 7-2 team and the Baltimore Ravens, and they could get this win and put themselves in first place in the AFC North, you're looking at a completely different embrace. You're looking at a completely different swag for anybody that's going in that locker room. And to be able to do that, and they were able to do that when you had guys named PJ Walker, when you guys had guys named DTR, when you lose a guy like Nick Chubb, when you don't even have Conklin, when Jed Wills is out now, you spent most of the time wondering if your quarterback could even throw the ball 5 or 10 yards. Hey, you even talking about Joe Bitonio has had surgery and been back. For you to be in first place or talking about first place is a damn good accomplishment. And I think that Deshaun Watson can earn a lot of points, a lot of cachet, and he can start to get to a point where now he's banking certain trust. He's banking trust when it comes to the Cleveland Browns fans. And what they wanted more than anything, Deshaun, they wanted to be able to say, look, we got you for this reason. We got you for this reason. We want to see if you're able to go to that next level, that rarefied air, not the medium level, not medium sauce. We want to see you go to the rarefied air. We want to see you drop throw after throw after throw. When it's 3rd down and 7, you dial it up for 9. When you need 3rd down and 5, you run for 7. When you need a 4th and 1, you tell them, no, Harrison Bryant, you stay on the sideline. I'll run the quarterback sneak. Those are the type of the performance that ingratiate you to the fans. And a lot of times, and let me explain it to you, we understand this. And I know Deshaun Watson has and it's just a reality of the situation. I gave this analogy. Deshaun Watson in Cleveland is the equivalent of the difference between your son and your nephew. Let me repeat. Deshaun in Cleveland is the difference between how you treat your son and your nephew. If it's your son and he get good grades, guess what? You congratulate him. But if it's your son and he get bad grades, you like, no, we're going to have to figure something out. We're going to have to figure something out. You can't be, you making me look bad. But when it's your nephew, you don't be getting into the weeds with your nephew. You be like, my nephew's a good ball player over there. He plays across town. Good ball player. Got to keep his grades up, though. You see how the thing that you emphasized most was the fact that he was a good athlete and he got to get his grades up. What does that really mean? Does he get C's? But if it's your son, he gonna tell you, oh, my son been doing this thing. And then he's gonna tell you, but we need to raise his math grade. He need to get this done. It's a level of investment. It's a level of investment when it comes to how you talking about him. If you got a great nephew, like, I got a great nephew, good guy, good kid, man, it's going to be solid going to this place. Guess what? If you got a good kid and it's your son, you like, oh, listen, my son the best ever. Matter of fact, they need to be letting him play quarterback and receiver. I'm going to tell you what, throw the ball and catch it yourself. You like, all right, son, nephew, different involvement. Here in Cleveland, you're more invested when you draft a quarterback. And this is to Deshaun Watson. I'm giving you, get your pen and pad. I'm giving you game right here. It's different in Cleveland. When they draft you here, that means they drafted you with draft capital. They've seen you from the beginning. They didn't watch YouTube highlights on you. They didn't imagine you becoming the next greatest quarterback in the history of the Browns. They imagine you winning Pro Bowls. They imagine you going to the Super Bowl, multiple championships, and you signing a long-term deal. And they looking around in their own city like, okay, this is where it's going to be. This is where the billboard going to be. This right here is another place where you're going to get it. They done all of that because they drafted you and they have invested time, energy, and effort into who you are. Guess what? You ain't got none of that. You got drafted by the Texans. You got your best highlights with the Texans. You signed your first big deal with the Texans. You don't have no stock built up. You don't have no trust built out. So when the quarterback that we used to have, that we drafted, throw 3 picks, we could talk ourselves out of that. Oh, he's young, offensive line wasn't blocking, maybe it was them, maybe the receivers didn't run the right thing, he has to learn that read. They're gonna get all the excuses, homie. All the built-in excuses they're gonna get. You are not gonna get any of those. They expect you because you came in and got that bag. Somebody else drafted you. They haven't even seen you develop. All we done seen is highlights. And all we know is we ain't getting them same highlights that you was doing before. So this is a reason. This is a way. This is your first opportunity as a marquee quarterback to signal to the national media that I ain't fell off, signify to the local media, this is why you got me, and signify to the Baltimore Ravens, hey, it's a new day. You ain't the only one that got a gunslinger. You ain't the only one Cincinnati. You ain't the only one Baltimore. You ain't the only one Pittsburgh. Y'all got to deal with me now. And it's a great opportunity for it. Let's get to some of the comments that you guys got. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's keep cooking. Love your show, Matthew Copa. I thank you so much. Love your show. Watch it every week. You speak the truth and the true Clevelander. I thank you so much for the super chat. I thank you guys for supporting me. Let's go, G. Bush. I need that lineup. Salute to the Kool-Aid Mafia. Yes, indeed, man. I love coming back in here. Thank you guys for all. Make sure you support. The only way you can get this is make sure you guys hit that subscribe button so you notified when we're going live. You know, I love getting back on here. This is a different flavor. I get to come talk and you know, get my story time off with you guys, bro. So I want to thank you guys for coming back in here from 3 or 4. just rocking with me, even though Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show is 11-1. So it gives you a little bit of stuff, and I try to bring a little bit a change of pace to it. So I do appreciate you guys. This game is where the same old Brown narrative dies or continues to live. Let me get my banner off here because I want to. Let me get that down. Let me get that down. Sorry. Yeah, Deon, this is it. I'm glad you said that. That same old Browns narrative don't die with the Cardinals. There's only a couple of ways you could go through the same old Browns. It's through, and no disrespect to Joe Burrow, but it ain't even really about the Bengals. The same old Browns angle dies only with two people. That's the Baltimore Ravens. They argue. When you look in that mirror, they stole your identity. They stole all of your identity, and then had the nerve to get a Super Bowl win with it too. Had the nerve to hire what's the name? To hire one of the best players in your career. And Ozzie Newsome, and had the nerve to have him in here, just pick Jonathan Ogden, Hall of Famer. Ray Lewis, Hall of Famer. Ed Reed, Hall of Famer. Jamal Lewis, 2,000 yards. These guys is. You had Shannon Sharp on your squad. When it got Rob Woodson. Listen, there's only two guys that you can beat to get this off. Them and the Mike Tomlin Steelers. I'm tired of hearing about, listen, shout out to Aditi, but I'm tired of hearing about that culture. I'm tired of hearing about the colors. I'm tired of hearing about how Mike Tomlin and Harbaugh be doing their thing. I don't like them. I don't care if they lose every week. As a matter of fact, if their team want to get snatched up for 5 to 10 years, I'll take that too. You got to go through something to get something, right? We had to do it. You ain't seeing me cry. I don't like them. So for me, I'm trying to go right through them. I don't like none of them cats, man. And my thing is, they be acting like they immune to these L's too. I want to get to a point where they start having to ask us, when does it get better? I want to beat them so bad that they start to say, well, what about the old yesteryears for the Steelers? I need those montages. I'm tired of the montages about us in New Jersey and all the quarterbacks. When am I going to get the montage about the Ravens can't catch a break? Care about Harbaugh and them. These guys are crazy, bro. I don't care nothing about them, bro. I'm tired of hearing about their culture. It's nauseating. Listen, I be on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. I really be like, don't put the camera on my face. When we talking Steelers, do not put the camera on my face. I do not like them. See, this is why. Guys like Brandon Booth. Guys like that. Oh, my gosh. Thank you. They can't make their own stuff. They got to take it to get it all from Cleveland, man. You know what we talking about. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, EK. I see you, man. It's crazy. Earl the Pearl, where you at? Are you in the building? Where you at? Oh, there you go. Hey. Hey, look, man. Hey, Earl, I'm going to need to tell you something, bro. Man, you got way too many profile pics, bro. Where'd you get this new one? This ain't the old profile pic you used to have. See, this is what happened when y'all be letting cats start hosting. They start taking profile pics and all this is glossy. This is like 1080p too. This is like, and it don't even, listen, he's so suave right there. He's so smooth. It don't even look like he got braids. You got dreads, don't you? You got a number 1 up top. That's a Caesar. When did you see? I'm gonna start reporting you. Don't be sneaking into the studio taking pictures, bro. I did. Shout out to my man, Errol. That's my brother out there, man. I'll be just playing with him though. Man, he had that number. I'm like, man, you got a cut? This guy's, man. Coming up here in a moment, we're going to get to this, man. Don't be mad at me. Don't be mad at me when we do this. What y'all think about moral victories? I ain't saying that the Browns going to take no loss or nothing like that, guaranteed, but I'm trying to set something up. Just work with me. How you feel about moral victories against the Ravens? We'll come back and we'll talk about it. It's G. Bush on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show YouTube channel. Let me talk about my people at Great Lakes Honda. And as always, the barbershop is sponsored by Great Lakes Honda West out in Elyria. My man Sullivan Rogers, shout out to him. And let me tell you about what they got going on out there. Man, there's a lot of people out here that don't have any established credit. Maybe you had any don't have any good credit, right? If you ain't got nothing on your credit report. If you can prove you got a job, and if you can come in here and don't bankruptcies, here's what we should do for you. They can get you out of there with a 2024 Honda right now, no questions asked. And that's because Sullivan Rogers is that guy, man. I was having opportunity to go out to the showroom floor. Some of these cars, I'm like, is this brand new? I need to trade one of these in, man. I'm gonna work my payment down. Beautiful cars, beautiful sedans. If you're a person that's going off to college, maybe you don't have any established credit. If you can prove that you got a paycheck and you're getting extra money coming in and you're consistent with it, Sullivan Rogers can get you taken care of over at Great Lakes Honda West over in Elyria. Make sure you go out there, and when you go there, let them know your boy G. Bush sent you out there and tell them to hook you up. It's G. Bush in the Barbershop, sponsored by Great Lakes Honda West. All right, G. Bush back at it again. Let's get to this. I know I was teasing this a little bit. How y'all feel about more victories? Now listen, I'm not getting too beside myself. You say, what do you mean moral victories, G. Bush? We don't do moral victories. It's about wins and losses. Let me throw a scenario out there. And so you guys be ready. I'm ready to put the 1 and the 2 in there. I'm going to ask a question some point in time in here, and you're going to be able to definitely click 1 or 2 and let me know how you feel. Now listen up. Browns going against the Ravens. We've established that the Ravens and Browns got number 1, number 2 defenses, right? I just talked a whole segment in terms of what Deshaun Watson needs to do to earn these votes from the fans, earn the votes of the people from Ohio, earn the votes for Northeast Ohio. So I started to get thinking, and me and Kim was talking about this morning. And he made me think about something. If Deshaun Watson, because here's what usually happens on sports talk radio. Earl can attest to this. When the Browns lose, and when we go do the post-game show, and by the way, make sure you keep it locked. The post-game show will be 2-minute warning. Your boy G. Bush, Earl, Mikey McNuggets. Make sure you guys check that out. Make sure you subscribe. You'll get a notification for that as well. The most popular post-game show in the city. You already know what it is. But when the Browns play poorly, we all have usually this whole circle of life where it goes, we blame the coach, then we blame the quarterback, and then we say the coach is going to get fired, and then we say we're garbage, we're trash, we gave up too many picks, and then we cool off a little bit and we're more sane on Monday. But Sunday, we be in our bag. My thing is, the Browns are getting to the point where they're kind of too good to do that. And what I mean by that is they're sitting at 5-3. If they lose the game to the Baltimore Ravens, and the game is hard fought, but Baltimore and Lamar Jackson, who's playing at an MVP level, they get the ball last, matriculate down the field, and they get a ball to Justin Tucker and kick a 65-yard field goal, and they win by 1 point. I can't get on the post-game show and say Kevin Stefanski got to get fired tomorrow. And on top of that, Deshaun Watson is garbage and trash, and we should have never gave him no picks or no money for him. Because at some point, when you have a franchise quarterback, you got to look at the big picture, right? Like, I don't think people in Joe Burrow are saying, oh, listen, every single time Joe Burrow loses a game, the sky is falling. I don't think the Bills do that. I know the Bills have been disappointing in the playoffs, but I don't think their team they're losing and hanging on every single loss. They say, all right, well, we probably lose 4 or 5 games this year. But when you got a franchise quarterback, you understand that any given game, any given Sunday, any given period of time that guy could go out there and throw a gem of a football game and keep you in the game. So my question is to you guys, because I'm looking at this thing and say, okay, Deshaun Watson made about 3 or 4 throws last week that I was loving. We know what throws they are. It's Thursday. We know which ones they are, right? So we don't have to rehash those. But let me give you a hypothetical. If he goes out here and he throws for over 300 yards, no turnovers, 3 touchdowns. He leads a last-second drive that leaves about a minute 30 on the clock. But he put his team over top with a touchdown pass, and now the Browns are up by 2 points. Lamar Jackson gets the football, holding penalty or some sort of penalty, moves the ball up to the 35-yard line of Baltimore. They matriculate the ball downfield. He's able to scramble, get out of bounds, and give Justin Tucker a shot at one of the longest field goals in history. He hits the field goal. Browns lose a heartbreaker by 1. You guys can't tell me that you would be mad about that loss. As a matter of fact, I think you'd be capping. If that scenario played off, you're capping if you tell me that you would not be encouraged next game because of the way Deshaun Watson played. And I know it's not basically all about Deshaun Watson, but for us to sit here at this point in the year and not say that, hey, if Deshaun Watson plays well and the Browns happen to lose a close game, I'm not going to come in and kill him because I'm looking at him and being like, this is one of the best games we've seen him play. And if he can play that way, I know for a fact Pittsburgh is winnable, and every other game is winnable down the line. So for me, when I'm looking at what this game means and how it rolls, obviously I want the Browns to win. Obviously I want them to be in first place, and I don't want to keep losing 2 games with the Baltimore Ravens every single year. But the first game, let's be honest, DTR was the guy. What I'm asking you today is, as we sit here, about 3:38. If the Cleveland Browns played that way, but they happen to lose a tough game, would you accept that and be encouraged moving forward? Give me a 1 for yes, 2 for no. 1 for yes, 2 for no. And if you say no, why would you not be encouraged? Give me a reason why. Just don't say it, right? Just, you know how we do over here. Just give me a reason, right? So if the Browns are in this situation, and I know we don't play moral victories, right? But if Deshaun Watson throws for 300 plus 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, does not turn the ball over, period, leads a last-second drive, and looks like the guy we thought he was, but we lose a close game, are you going to be encouraged? 1 for yes, 2 for no, and if you say 2 for no, let me know why. All right, so let me get back. Let's get back to these comment section. We got. He said. So we're gonna read some of these a little bit, because I want to read some of the what he has to do to earn that vote. I want to get back to that. Let's see. Make sure we got that. Drafted here, traded here, or signed here. I don't give a damn. I cheer for the Browns. All I'm interested is if you can help a team win games. I agree. Browns GM helped build the Texans from him. The Browns GM helped the Texans more than he helped his own team. Be competitive. That is garbage too. See, all right. Let me see. Watson, I'll get my vote when he loses his ego. And if you ask me, in my opinion, that's the only thing that has been injured this year. All right. You're never going to win anyone over. You just got to go out there and ball out in spite of it. Man, listen, one thing I'm right about. Hey, we polarize. You ain't going. Hey, Corey, you ain't going to win nobody over. Time for the Browns to show up and show out. Watson has my vote. He's our guy. Only a matter of time. I just want to remind you the Ravens 18-7 when it comes to playing us. We've only beat them once at home in the past 10 years. By the way, that was a Freddie Kitchens team, by the way. I think Baker Mayfield threw for like 400 yards. Almost. It's like 396. Jarvis Landry had a ridiculous game. And I think Nick Chubb like had an 80-something yard run. I remember that game. Let's continue to go on. Let's see. Chris White, Ravens fan harassed the Ravens ownership until they make changes. And if they don't do it right by Lamar, we are at their necks. I will say, y'all went to bat for him, talk about y'all better sign him. Ken Cole said, hey, Die Hard here Browns and Lions in the Super Bowl. Two teams that never got there. That'd be great. We've had 25 years of moral victories, and it's gotten us nowhere. All right, I agree with that. Kareem Hunt, I like this Ohio individual. I've been screaming for Kareem Hunt. Jerome Ford has not been getting it done. We need somebody that's going to slam it up there. We need guys that can one cut, leaning forward, pad level, getting it done. That's what we need. So let's see. Zeke Dog says, yo, G Bush, yo, G, Z Dog in the house waiting on my Kool-Aid Mafia hoodie patiently. Hey, Zeke Dog, we on the way. It's on the way, dog. As a matter of fact, Zeke Dog, email me because I'm interested. I'm interested in seeing when it was sent out. I'll give you a tracking number if it's been sent out. So let me email me, hit me up and say, hey, G Bush, what's going on? Email me at gbush91@hotmail.com and I'll get you a tracking number, dog. My man Ray Smith, Kool-Aid Mafia in the building. All right, here we go. We got a lot of ones and twos up in here. We'll get to those here in the next break. We got a lot of ones and twos. We'll definitely get to that. Coming up, I'm going to let you know why this really, we spent the first two segments talking about the Browns and the offense and Deshaun Watson. But this game boils down to defense. And I'm going to tell you what, these boys better get it done. The defense has to have an epic game. We'll explain that coming up next. It's G Bush on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show YouTube channel. All right, let's talk about my people, Jason at Phenomenal Barbershop. Everyone always asks me, G Bush, you do a show called The Barbershop. Where you get your hair cut at? My man Jason in Lakewood does it. And I'm proud to have Jason as a sponsor of the show. You can call Jason to set up an appointment today at 216-385-8861. Great thing about Phenomenal Barbershop, it's a family atmosphere. They got 3 or 4 barbers that can do all types of hair. They just don't do black guys. They don't just do white guys. They don't do just women or men. They can do all kind of different cuts for all kind of different people. They're great with children. And the best part about it is family friendly. They make sure there's no cursing. They don't do a lot of loud, obnoxious videos and movies and different things like that. It's a great family atmosphere. So you definitely can come and watch your kid get your hair cut. You can come hang out while your a significant other gets their hair done or gets their hair cut, because they do have a beauty salon part for women. Make sure you can do the appointments. You can set that up again. I'll put that back up here one more time. The address is 11827 Detroit Avenue, Lakewood, Ohio, 44107. And you can call Jason today to book an appointment. You don't even got to wait in line. His booking app is simple, easy to use. You can reserve it with your credit card, and you just come in at your leisure, maybe on your lunch, maybe after work, or even before at work if you work in afternoons. He takes all customers, so call him at 216-385-8861. Once again, 216-385-8861. Phenomenal Barbershop. All right, so guys, we talked about this a little bit earlier, and we talked about Deshaun Watson. Let's get to the defense a little bit, because I think this is going to be one of the biggest parts and one of the most important parts of the Cleveland Browns game against the Baltimore Ravens. You have the top 2 defenses in the league going back and forth. Make sure you check out that episode today of the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. McNuggets really did a good job of just explaining early on in the show just how closely matched the Browns defense is with the Ravens defense. Both of those teams, from turnovers to yards per attempt to how many yards they give up per game to you know what I'm saying, just with the percent of the sack percentages and the sack rates. They're just 1 and 2 in so many different places and parts on the defensive scoreboard that, you know, this is really going to be one thing that really fun to watch, especially if you're a defensive guy like me. You know, you get to watch those guys. A lot of storylines too. Odell Beckham Jr. coming back, right? You get to go against him, and Denzel Ward and Martin Emerson and those guys, man. Seeing if he can shut Odell Beckham Jr. out. You talk about it. Kyle Van Noy, older guys that have been getting after the quarterback. Jadeveon Clowney has had a nice little year getting after the quarterback. And obviously, there's a storyline with him leaving, going to the Ravens. And then you have with the Cleveland Browns, we've been doing Dalvin Tomlinson, 3 sacks last week. Zadarius Smith, 2 sacks in as many weeks. And then obviously you got Myles Garrett. And I give the specific edge to the Browns. And I know a lot of people say, well, you know, in so many years that we've done this a lot. We've always just gone on and said, we're just going to blindly give the benefit of the doubt to the Steelers or the Ravens. We'll just blindly say that the Ravens are better. Why? Because you like their colors? Why? Because their colors look intimidating. They came out there in all black with visors and all kind of, you know, the best player on that field is Myles Garrett. Like I repeat, let's be clear. That goes for the offensive players on the Browns. That goes for the defensive players on the Browns. That also goes for the offense and the defensive players for the Steelers, for the Ravens as well. Myles Garrett is the best player in the field. And if you get a performance, and he's going to have a performance that says, I'm the best player on the field, this game is going to come down to how they play Lamar Jackson and what this defense is willing to give up and what they're not willing to give up. I've always said this to myself. Lamar Jackson is a greatly improved passer. Some of the passes he made against us last week was devastating. The last game we played, I mean, granted, DTR was the quarterback, and you know he wasn't prepared to play. The Browns really had no chance to win that football game. But one thing that you look at Lamar Jackson, he came out there ready to go. Lamar Jackson came out there ready to go, and he made 2 or 3 throws that game that really put that game out of touch. And so he's a much improved passer. But if you want to ask me what it is that you need to have to stop Lamar Jackson, it's very easy. Lamar Jackson's going to have to beat me from the pocket like he's Joe Burrow, or like he's, you know, Josh Allen or Herbert or any of the pocket passers. He's going to have to do that 35, 36, 30, 40 times for me to respect that. If he makes a good throw like that to Mark Andrews and he want to do it time and time, I'm going to shake his hand after the game and say, great job, son. We had nothing for that. But one thing you cannot do, you can't give two-way goals up. You got to be you don't be a man with no country. Either you're going to give up the running stuff or you're going to give up him throwing the ball, but you can't let him have both. You cannot let him have both. And I know it's kind of frustrating for people because they say, well, just let him sit back there and throw it, but we're going to sit back at zone and we're not going to have people rush him. Well, then you're going to look stupid because now, once again, that's a two-way go. You're in middle ground. You're not being aggressive. You're not attacking. And so now you're going to look stupid. Now you're going to start running around, shuffling around, doing whatever he wants, pump fake here, jab here, throw the ball over the top, all that dipsy-do stuff. That's what happens when you give a person too much time and you ain't doing nothing. They still have to keep up the pass rush. They have to keep going, moving, making sure that you're being disruptive as they've been. But the only change now is that you got to spy. And when I say spy, I'm talking about, listen, you're accounted for him the whole game. Is that taking somebody else out of your defense? Sure it is. I do. I like to have JOK do it because he's that quick. He's not as fast as Lamar Jackson, but he has the quicks and he has the quick twitch ability to get out in the flat when he's out and he's out the back door. You hope that Myles Garrett and Zadarius Smith are attacking as well. And what you want in this situation, I don't know if you got to play dime. I don't know if you got to keep JOK, and if Anthony Walker ain't getting it done, how's about we move Grant Delpit down as a linebacker position with Ronnie McLeod in the back, still with our 3 corners, Newsome, Emerson, and Denzel Ward. You don't forget about Juan Thornhill. So that's more of a dime look. You might need a dime look, but to get to the dime look, to get to where you want to be at, you got to stop the run. You can't let Gus Edwards and Hill and some of these guys get 5 yards a pop on read option plays. See, here you can stop the read option play because JOK automatically has Lamar Jackson. So all we playing is zone read. All we playing is inside zone. If he get it, we eating him up. If he don't, we got somebody out there spying. That's the way I believe that the Cleveland Browns need to do it, and they got to do it in an epic fashion. What I mean in an epic fashion, they need to be able to be fast, efficient, and get turnovers. If I could get a scoop and score, if I could get to Lamar Jackson, who's loose and free with the football in the open field, if I could get the interceptions going, those are the things, and we talked about it. And what will you need? What do you need from your boy Deshaun Watson to earn these votes? Hey, be able to rebuttal. Take care of those opportunities. When they make a mistake, we need 7 from y'all, not 3, and continue to work on that. Continue to work on that. We got about 8 minutes to go. I want to get to these 1s and 2s. Before we got to this topic, we talked about it. Moral victories. Would it be if they did lose, right? If they did lose, and Watson plays well, would you think of that as you have confidence moving on to the next game? Let's continue to move up. Zeke Dog says 2 new tackles. Yikes! Call it an L. Stay healthy, y'all. Survive and win another day. Terry Tuto says 2. No, he don't care about the moral victory. Zeke Dog said if he played well, if Deshaun Watson threw for about 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, no turnovers, no sacks, none of that stuff, no strip sacks, and he's delivering the game, and they just happen to win just because Baltimore makes some plays, he'll take it. Rick Lamb says he'll take it. Master Millions TV. It's a lot of guys. No Day's fact. Not losing courage, but it's time to beat Lamar, period. We lost to individually enough. Some people want to Justin Levy. Hey, there's a lot of people. Let's see. Right there. There's some 1s in there. 2 good teams don't accept losing. Okay. Doug, 2, because moral victories don't get in the playoffs. Okay. 2, because I want to dub Browns on 3 or more. My man Ray Smith, 2, it's time to be Lamar Jackson, period. It's on the team, not just Watson, but why was he brought here to win these type games? Go Browns, always drinking the Kool-Aid, right? I see you, man. Definitely, man. Let's see. As far as the D goes, it's time to stop the RPOs. It's time to stop falling for spread offense quarterback draws. Their scheme is obvious, and it's mostly run with Lamar. We stop QB run on plays. We win the game, period. I like that confidence. The color purple only word for Prince. That's funny. That is funny, man. Let's see. Marluxia Scythe. It's simple. The reason Lamar has a crazy 71% completion is because he's having the time to make the throws. That starts with the O-line coach, which means our defensive front has to win in the trenches. I like that, man. I like that depth. No days off. This is what I call a check belly game. Time to see we are men or mice. There's a lot of people saying that this, it's about time for them to start winning these games. Vernell Jackson have to win, no moral victories. Y'all ain't half stepping today. Shorty Meek says, don't nobody want no moral victory. He said, don't nobody want that. We ain't doing. Reese, what's up? Like they said in Black Panther, show them who we are. Let's get it done. All right, too. We see this. My man Darian Rucker, no moral victories. We don't accept L's. I like that, man. I like that. Well, let me give you this. Well, this ain't no L. This ain't no L. Let me see. This ain't no L. One of the things that we talk about is make sure, no L's on this one. Make sure you're checking. Make sure you're checking out Behind the Glass. That's coming up next week. I think last week they did Behind the Glass on Wednesday. Make sure you checking that out. My man Earl the Pearl doing his thing. Also, make sure you guys are checking out this. We're talking about the post-game show 2-minute warning. Me, myself, Earl the Pearl, Mikey McNuggets, the hottest show in the streets. Make sure you're ready to catch that coming up here on Sunday, right after the game, or at the 2-minute warning. We'll be holding it down. We've been doing big numbers with that for about 2 years now. Wildly successful. You get the raw emotion, the raw, uncut feeling of what's going on. So make sure you guys go check that out as well. And make sure you're hitting the likes button on this. I always say, people, hey, we do a lot of things with memberships. We do a lot of things with subscribes and different things we ask you guys. But the number one thing that you guys could do to help us out to grow our shows and our channels and everything is just simply hitting the like button. Hit that like button for us, man. It really gives us an opportunity into the YouTube algorithm. And so when you search Cleveland Browns content, our content comes up, which helps to push it to other people. So, if 165 people in here and 155 people here, make sure you guys continue to support. Please hit that like button. We really appreciate it. We got about a couple minutes here to go. Any questions that you guys got? Maybe it can be about anything. We can rock and roll the last few minutes. If you got any questions that you want to just throw out there, I'll answer as many of them as I can. And just throw some of your comments out there as well. Let's go. Let's see. My man at my we ballin' says, G Push. I'm telling you, pregame scuffle will have them boys shook. Only person like that on their team is Pat Queen. Let's get them like we did the 49ers. I said that on Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. I said I wouldn't mind a little, I need a dust up or something, man. You know what I'm saying? Right now it's a little quiet. I think the Browns is trying to sneak up on some people. But like I said before, I would not mind a dust up. I'm all for that smoke. Raphael says can't play scared. That's what I love about guys with that attitude Kareem Hunt and Jarvis Landry had. They ain't scared. Now Kareem Hunt ain't scared of nobody. He was on the streets. It looked like he was running up and down on the block when he was trying to get back into the league with Timberlands on. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody scared out here. I love the fact that he runs the ball. I think Nick Chubb, but Kareem Hunt's gonna have to have a big game for him. I enjoyed this show in like Cleveland Browns Daily. They talk about everything but football. Yeah, I'm not into I'm not into talk about what bourbon I drink, or I got a Monster Energy and it's just me. It's just me, Monster Energy. And we try to get into what we talk about. Kool-Aid Mafia, what's up, Nathaniel? I thank you. I appreciate you. Let's see. King T, the third, said D4 over 200. He better. He got to have over 215 if we talking about something. He got to be closer to 280 something. Let's see. Let's see. I was meaning going to a Pittsburgh game, not actually a city. Ray Smith that says, drink 7-3 the next 2 weeks. Go Browns. Have a great evening all. and Doug S., we beat the Ravens. National narrative changes. Definitely, man. With that being said, we want to thank you guys for all showing up and being about the barbershop. Kool-Aid Mafia in the building. Check us out. We'll be back next time you'll see me. I'll be on the post-game show, 2-minute warning. With that being said, everybody out there, enjoy your weekend. Stay safe out there. And I always tell people, the barbershop is not a real place. It's a metaphor. It's about sports, music, and culture. And the best part of the show is you people. If you never know where I'm going to be, I could be anywhere. I'll be on radio, television, whatever the case may be. If you want to know where G. Bush going to be, just listen for the Clippers. Have a great weekend. Peace.